Okay, can you still hear me? We're going to work with this the way it is, okay? The only reason why I'm using this mic is my podcast editor told me that I need to, right? But guess what? It's going off. So hopefully you can hear me better. Let me know, message me down in the comments, and I'll see if I can. Let me check real quick. Welcome back, Jasmine. Thanks for skipping 3 weeks. Let me give you all the tech problems in the world today. Can you hear me okay? Welcome back, Jasmine. Thanks for skipping. Okay, good. All right, let me put my laptop there. All right, so number 4. Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me on IG. Thank you, Gina. All right, so number 4, as I was stating, you can build your business with ease, okay? You can build a business that's in alignment with who you are, what's important to you in relation to what your God-given strengths are. However, it does require visibility. So the reason why I wrote this is that there's going to be times within business, especially when you get close to that 6-figure mark or you're trying to go beyond that, right? Where you may feel some malalignment, you may even feel some resistance, because what got you there in the first place at that 6 figures and what's going to get you there beyond, unfortunately, what happens, right? It's not the same exact process. It's not going to be the same type of person that was required to get you there to that first pivotal place of getting to 6 figures. And now you're trying to scale and go beyond that and get to the next level. So one key thing that I've noticed on my own journey, as well as with my clients, is you can still honor yourself. You can still honor your purpose. You can still honor what makes you you. but there is going to be a huge level of discomfort that's going to come into your life, right? And into your business that you're going to have to push through. And it's going to require you to step up and be even more visible than you realize, especially if you are considering hitting the multiple six figures and beyond space. So going back to 3 weeks ago when we talked about the most expensive problem, the most expensive problem for most of us in our business is what? It's us, right? We're the decision makers. We're the leaders within our own business. So we can certainly build a business that's thriving. We can have an amazing life that's thriving, right? But there's going to be other requirements of you as you are scaling and growing. And a lot of times it's going to require more visibility in multiple ways, okay? Whether it's your offers, whether it's in the hiring of your team, whether it's in the marketing that you're using to get more visible, it's going to require a different you. And so that's the hard part for many people, is getting to a place of acceptance for that, which is why that is my number 4. Number 4. All right, here is number 3. Again, we are covering the 5 lessons I learned and also what I've seen in my own clients about their most expensive problem, specifically for those who are scaling their business at 6 figures and beyond. So number 3, you must, and this should be at number 1, but it's not really number 1 right now, y'all. You must be in a position where you are willing to have an ironclad commitment to your internal transformation. You hear me talk about this all the time. You heard me talk about it quite frequently in my book, Breakthrough to Excellence. This is a necessary journey for every business owner, because what has personally affected you and your business, right, is going to show up in your personal life. And what's affected you in your personal life is going to show up in your business. And it never fails when I'm working with people and we are building out their CEO roadmap, trademark, okay? When we're building that out, when we're looking at creating time for them to be able to serve in the CEO role that they're in, when we are analyzing and looking at how are they showing up organically with their marketing, what funnels should we be using as they're growing their business? It never fails, y'all. Even in my own journey, I have seen some things that have kind of showed up in my own life over time, right? That have impacted how I show up in my business, that have impacted how I handle sales calls, that have impacted every bit of decision making and the choices that I've made as a leader. So therefore, again, going back to what we discussed 3 weeks ago, if we know that the most expensive problem in our business isn't, a course or your team members or some other, financial responsibility we have as a CEO, if the most expensive problem is you, then we know that a part of solving that, right? A part of what I've seen in my own journey and within my own clients is understanding that we have to make a commitment for internal transformation. Nothing is going to move and shape you the way that being a business owner and CEO will do in your own life. Okay? Me being a mother has shaped me. Me being a wife has shaped me. There has been so many things that have shaped me along the way, but nothing has rocked my soul as much as business. So if you can relate, type a 2 in the chat for me, okay? If you can relate, because the person I was 5 years ago when I started my business and where I am today is like a whole 360 from where I started. And I'm so thankful that I started that personal development journey. I got the therapy that I needed. I started reading. I started working on my mindset. I started, seeking medical help if I needed. I am a proud mental health warrior because I understand the importance of healing why healing is necessary, why forgiveness is necessary, why it's imperative that you look for ways that anger may have shaped your life or some other pain. Statistically, many of us have dealt with sort of some trauma of some sort. You don't have to have some sad story that has all occurred in our own life, but some way, somehow, there have been incidences, and experiences that have impacted and shaped who we are today. So having full self-awareness of who you are and how that impacts your decision making as a business owner is going to prevent you from heading down some of the paths or the roads that many of us go through where we get stuck. And then we can't, or it's impossible for us to scale our legacy-driven business. Now I'm going to continue this conversation to Clubhouse because I want to talk about building a legacy-driven business, but I hope y'all are hearing me, and I hope that this is really reaching down into the heart, because this is a really critical piece that I often see missing with my clients, okay? All right, y'all ready for number 2? Here's number 2. Number 2, you are not so unique, and this is not to say this in a snarky way, but you are not so unique, right, or qualified or so overqualified that you need to be doing this business alone. All right? None of us can make this alone. Every person that's out there that's saying like, I'm a self-made millionaire and blah, blah, blah. They got like 20, 30 team members rocking it out, okay? Busting their chops every day to support them. So one of the key things that you have to understand, the most expensive problem we have is ourselves, right? Remember 3 weeks ago, I said, if you want to take a listen to that, you can listen to me talk about that most expensive problem. It's me, it's you, it's us. And we get stuck in a place when we're scaling and growing our business thinking that we can do it alone. No, we cannot. Okay? There is a reason why you hear on my podcast, I'm talking about how to onboard your new hire. I am interviewing amazing HR strategists out there. Why? Because this is a critical piece that's missing from many of us. And I'm going to share the number one thing in just a moment. But when you understand that you are unique in a way that there's no other person here on the earth, you are worthy, you are deserving of all things. But my fellow entrepreneurs, you can't do this journey alone. You can't. You just can't. You're going to need to be able to step into a place as a true leader, as a CEO of your business, and start hiring. Start hiring. Right now, I have several people that's on my team. I remember my very first hire. I was a hot mess, y'all, okay? But I did it. And so one of the key things that I want to further reiterate to you is what is getting you to 6 figures, okay, is not what's going to get you to multiple 6 figures and beyond. And if you're trying to create a legacy, okay, because the people I'm talking to are my legacy-driven entrepreneurs. If you're trying to create a legacy, if you're trying to increase your impact, if you're trying to increase your influence, if you're trying to increase your income in your business, go ahead and type a 3 in the chat. Because if that's you, if you identify with that, then that means that this lesson that I'm sharing, which is number 2, right? We want to make sure that we're in a place of doing what? Building our team. We need to build our team. We can't do this alone. Why? Because of some of the symptoms that I'm going to share later on in Clubhouse, which is just what happens to us if we are not in a legacy-driven business. Our family suffers, right? Right? What else suffers? Okay. Our health suffers. Financially, we're not reaching our goals. We are in a place where we are dealing with, I would say the best word for this is almost like, and I'm going to use the words that I may be a little dramatic, but I'm going to use the words that I used. when I was in this place. I was in a pit of despair. You feel like pulling your hair out. You feel so overwhelmed and frustrated because you know that you're made for more, right? But you're treating success like an option, and you're treating your family like an option, and you're treating your life like an option, right? And so we want to get to a place where we remember, hello, we're building a legacy. And a legacy means that I am going to step into my role as the CEO of my business, make sure I don't do number one, which is my number one lesson I'm about to share in a moment. And I'm also going to be there for my family in an amazing way. I'm going to be able to take care of my family in an amazing way because I've chosen to make sure I understand that internal transformation is necessary. I've also chosen what's number 4. We talked about the fact that we can build our business with ease, but it's going to require visibility. It's going to require us to step up into this next level. It's going to require us to show up in many ways that we haven't done before, right? And then finally, number 5 is making sure you're in alignment with who you are at all points in time. Do you stop enough? Do you stop enough to ask yourself that, right? Some of you are going to be making some decisions today for your business. Can you slow down just enough to ask yourself, does this feel in alignment with where I want to be? Can you do that for me? Right? Actually, don't do that for me. Do that for you. Okay? Do that for your family. Do that for your children or your soon-to-be children. Do that for the legacy that you're leaving behind one day, because we're not guaranteed another day in life, right? All right, here's number 1, y'all. Y'all been rocking with me with all my technology difficulties. Child. I'm going to have to re-record this whole thing, but we must go on. All right. Number 1. Here's the number 1 lesson that I learned, because the most expensive problem in our businesses as we're growing 6 figures and beyond is this. We have to remove ourselves as the bottleneck. We have to remove ourselves as the all-knowing, must-do everything, be all things to everyone. We have to do that, okay? Now, going a little, let's backtrack, right, to number 5, where we talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about alignment, right? Alignment is also making sure we do 3 important things that I always talk about. All right, so go ahead and write OBO. You probably heard me use this acronym before, but here's what it is. It's O for outsource, B for boundaries, O for organization. And we have to get to a place, 1, we outsource, which was number 2, right? But we also have to establish boundaries, which ties into number 5 with our alignment. And most importantly, we have to get organized. And time again, it never fails. I meet the most incredible people, y'all, like straight up dope, awesome, amazing people who have so much to give, who have gone into business, not just to go into business. They've gone into business to truly make an impact. The problem is that they are the bottleneck of their business, which is leading to what? What are some of the symptoms that are happening? Well, what I call haters or what I call anything that prevents you from reaching and fulfilling your legacy or honoring your God-given purpose, I call them legacy snatchers. So the legacy snatchers can come up as perfectionism. We were just talking about this the other night with Teresa, who had an amazing room. It can show up as analysis paralysis. It can show up as indecisiveness and not moving forward with what you know is necessary for you to get to that next level, right? You're letting fear and other things get in the way of that. It can show up in so many ways by you not letting go and hiring the right type of team, of you looking for external validation and not doing that internal work for you to be firmly rooted and grounded in who you are. Legacy snatchers show up in so many ways, y'all. I can go on and on and on. I want to make sure I keep this within a certain time frame because I got to hop on Clubhouse next. But we've got to understand that ultimately, some of you I've had some past clients that come in and they'll say things like, hey, I've got this, I've got this great program. I know I want to take it to the next level, but I'm like stuck right now. I have no idea, right, how to create this one-to-many offer. I have no idea how to take my expertise and take it into this next level offer so that I can grow and scale my business. I have no idea where I can find the time every day to spend with my family. I have no idea why is it that I'm still struggling in my business and I'm doing all this work, right? I'm doing all this work that often has me working 12 to 15 hours a day or more. I had one client, I've shared her review. She was at 50 to 60 hours a week. This is real. This is real. And I've been guilty of this too. I am not some, perfect person that's been here on this journey and have never experienced this. I'm speaking from my own experiences. I'm speaking from the people that I've been blessed with to coach and consult and get them out of this rut. So understand that number one lesson I've learned in 5 years of business, y'all, celebration, and in working with my clients, the problem we have is that we are the bottlenecks of our business. That affects us financially. It affects us spiritually. Some of us can't even make time to serve the Lord. We don't even have time to even say thank you for the stuff we have. Right? Because we're so stretched thin and we're frustrated and we're irritable and we're taking it out on the ones that we love and we aren't able to care for ourselves in meaningful ways. You're maybe waking up at night, right? Not sleeping well, dealing with gastrointestinal issues. Okay? There's so many things that affect us that we deal with silently. How do I know? I've been there. I've helped my clients do that, right? We've suffered so much in silence and we worry about these perfectly curated feeds. So my call to action for each of you is understand, again, this is going to be on replay on my IG too, hopefully. Otherwise, I'm going to re-record it and repurpose it for my podcast. But know this, the most expensive problem that you can have in your business for our 6 figures and beyond, or even at the beginning, okay? I don't care where you are in your business. We're normally the problem to begin with. And the problem doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's just that we may have to set up some boundaries, be more self-aware in how our actions are not contributing or supporting our vision. But if our most expensive problem is ourselves, we have to do the work necessary to slow down just a bit, right? So that we can keep the focus on building a legacy-driven business. All right, so let me recap them one more time for you all and know that I'm going to continue this conversation on Clubhouse. Send me a DM if you want the link. I'll be talking about building a legacy-driven business directly after this at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also do some laser coaching and welcome people on the stage. So if you got some questions about your own business or what have you, come on up, come on in the Clubhouse and I will welcome you. So let me do a quick recap. Number 5, if you aren't in alignment with your God-given strengths and deeply rooted in who you are inside, you will find that what you're doing in your business will not be working for you. All right. So if you're feeling like I am ready to trash my whole business, that's the best way I can explain it. All right. Then it's time for you to do a necessary evaluation. It's time for you to make some change. Can you agree with that? Okay. Type a 4 if anything that I've shared has resonated with you. Anything that I've shared, if you've dealt with it, if you've overcome it, let me know. All right. Number 4, business can be built with ease, but it does require visibility or for you to stretch outside of what's comfortable for you. So what got you to six figures? Is it going to get you to multiple six figures? It's not going to get you to that next level. We all have upper limits, okay? Shout out to the big leap, right? We all have our own upper limit. So we have to understand that if we're feeling malaligned, if we're feeling some sort of resistance, it could be us pushing up against that upper limit. And we have to start looking at our decisions and our actions every single day in our life and within our business. And we have to ask ourselves the pertinent questions, whether or not is this directing me towards my business, towards my business legacy and the legacy that I want to leave for my family and for my business. If it ain't, y'all know what the answer is, okay? Next, have an ironclad commitment to your internal transformation. Many decisions that you make today, many things that you're doing within your own business, how you handle, interact, and connect with people networking wise, how you handle sales calls, how you show up as a leader in your business is directly affected unconsciously by things that have happened within our past, whether it's childhood, adulthood, or what have you. So you have to be committed to also doing internal transformation within your own self and heal, for some of us, not all of us, that inner child. Again, statistically, many of us have dealt with struggles, with different traumas. And I'm not going to get into all the statistics and how that biologically affects us, but it is an imperative part of all of our transformations. Again, your business is directly aligned with your life, okay? The way you show up, the way you price your offers, the way that you get visible, the way that you make decisions, the way that you hire people is all impacted from your foundation, okay? Fight me later, okay? Number two, all right? You are so unique or very qualified. You are dope. You are amazing. You are worthy. You are deserving. All of those things, but you can't do this business alone. So that means that you need to invest in a coach, which I have, all right? And I've spent thousands of dollars, y'all. Why? Because I know I can't do this journey alone. It's already a lot. I got a lot on my plate. Every day I got a lot on my plate. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a servant of God. Okay? There's a lot that I'm doing on a regular basis. So how do I maintain that? How would you maintain what's important to you in your life? You've got to be able to be willing to hire a team or invest in a coach or invest in a program that's going to help support you as you are moving forward and going to these next levels. Number one, you have to remove yourself as a bottleneck of your business. And it can show up in many different ways. It's not just hiring your team. It could be you moving into a place where you can just breathe, where you can take care of your health, where you can take a vacation, right? Some of us haven't taken one for years, not based on the pandemic, just generally we haven't taken one. Some of us are trapped. We're imprisoned. We are chained by fear. We're chained by our businesses. It don't have to be like that. It's by choice if we stay there. And I know for sure that many of you are looking to make an impact. You want to create a legacy-driven business. All right? But if any of those feelings are coming up on a regular basis, and you can feel it in your gut, trust that intuition. Trust and know that when your body is letting you know, when your mind is letting you know, when your health is letting you know, when your relationships are letting you know, it's time for some sort of change. So those are the 5 lessons, y'all. 5 years in business. I can't believe it. April 12th, I made it to 5 years. I look forward to continue to grow. I have no plans in stopping. I love what I do. I love helping the people that I do. If you know that you are in need of assessing your business, go ahead and click above me. Or if you're on IG, click the link in my bio. Go ahead and download my free CEO roadmap checklist. Some of you have known it as a 100K breakthrough. I have renamed it as a CEO roadmap checklist. And it comes with a 4-part video series that I will walk you through that workbook. Assess yourself, be honest about where you're at, and make the necessary changes today. We don't want to feel the richest place on earth, which is a graveyard. We don't want fear to take the driver's seat. We want to continue to build our business legacy. Thank you, Tanisha. Thank you, Gina. I'm so happy and excited to make it a 5 years, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Sorry for the tech issues. I'm going to leave it up. We'll see what happens, but hopefully you were able to get some inspiration, some empowerment towards your own business journey. I will catch y'all all next week. DM me if you want a link to my Clubhouse room, which starts in about 15 minutes. Bye.